مشاهدينا في كل مكان، أهلا بيكم. احنا معاكم النهاردة هنستكمل حوارنا من داخل سفارة ليبيريا. لقائنا اليوم أو اللي هنستكمله اليوم هو لقاء خاص مع القائم بأعمال سفارة ليبيريا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية، وهي السيدة ماريان اف كوبي. لقائنا النهاردة هيكون عن العلاقات ما بين مصر وليبيريا في كل المجالات، فابقوا معنا وتابعونا. مكان بيسعدنا ان يكون في ضيفتنا للمره الثانيه سعاده القائم بالاعمال بسفاره ليبيريا لدى جمهوريه مصر العربيه السيده ماريان اف كوبي. Your Excellency, thank you so much for having us for the second time.
Welcome.
In this episode, I would like to talk about the relation and the history of relations and diplomatics history between Egypt and Liberia. So, how can you describe these relations?
Egypt and Liberia has been having a relationship, according to my record, since 1957. The first Egyptian ambassador was assigned to Liberia, was appointed to Liberia 1958. So I believe that's where our diplomatic bilateral relationship started. And since then, we have been cooperating in different areas to make sure, to enhance the collaboration between the two countries.
Your Excellency, can we talk about the volume of trading between Egypt and Liberia, and what is the product that we already having it in this trading?
The volume of trade, Egypt export more to Liberia. Mm-hmm. There is no, if I'm not too sure, because sometimes record might say something else. Liberia is not, I don't think we are exporting. I'm not too sure about that. I don't want to be specific. But Egypt export to Liberia cement, I think onions, essential oils, mm-hmm. and plastic, mm-hmm. yeah, to Liberia. And for what I noticed that last year it was kind of low. The previous year, 2023, was higher. So would I say decrease? Nope. Maybe I would say fluctuation because of the global market, because of everything that is happening around the world in terms of the war in Ukraine, the war right here by us here, Egypt, might cause some problems. That's why maybe those people that are exporting goods to Liberia might decrease. Mm-hmm. Yes. So a lot hasn't been done lately for this year, maybe by the end of the year, we will be able to have a concrete figure of how much export been going to Liberia from Egypt. Yeah.
Your Excellency, you said, but there's not much export from Liberia to Egypt. Although Liberia is one of the largest countries in rubber plantation, for example.
So I don't know.
So why don't you try to have this kind of
cooperation? That's one of the things since I came I've been trying to work on to meet Egyptian business people, investors that want to invest in Liberia, to look for a cooperation, because for me, cooperation should supposed to be two ways.
Yeah.
I should give you, you give me, we exchange, because we have something to offer. Now that we don't have anything, and Egypt has something to offer. So the two countries will collaborate and work together to be able to have one common understanding, one common, like the after. The after which Egypt believes in so much will be something that Liberia is looking forward to. But relationship between Egypt and Liberia, when you go back to history, it's not long standing in terms of, for example, I will give an example. I've been in Egypt for more than 1 year. I have visited several places, met several business people. Sometimes when I meet those people, they ask me, where is Liberia? 100% of the people I meet, trust me, I will grade maybe 85%. We have to go and Google before they know where Liberia is. So now I have to start telling you about Liberia, because you have to know about a country before you will go to invest in that country. So I have to start the page by telling you where is Liberia, what Liberia can offer, before a businessman will be convinced to go and do business in Liberia.
So the investment cooperation, it's a future plan in between the two countries now.
Yes, it's ongoing now, because since I have been here, there are a lot of business people in Egypt that are looking forward to go to Liberia. Some have visited already. So I believe that collaboration is a very good initiative to start up with. That very soon, in a couple of years, we will see more of Egyptian investment in Liberia.
Your Excellency, there is also other field of cooperation between Egypt and Liberia, especially let's talk about the education. So there is scholarships, I think, from Liberia to Egypt here, especially to Azhar Sharif. Yeah. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, there's a incorporation between Egypt and cooperation between Egypt and Liberia in terms of scholarship for students, which is done yearly. That we have students that come to Harza, some come to Cairo University. We even have a student now in Alexandria. So in terms of capacity building, Egypt has been coming forth for Liberia a whole lot in the security sector, health sector, in training, diplomatic training. We have a lot of our employees and students that come here for short term and sometimes long term to Egypt. So in that area, Egypt is doing well, even though we want them to do more, because in terms of capacity building, that's what we need in Liberia.
Your Excellency, is there any kind of cooperation between Egypt and Liberia in other fields, like, for example, the agriculture field or the health field sector?
Well, Liberia is looking forward to that, and Egypt too is looking forward to that. There are a lot of things on the table now as I speak that we are looking forward to cooperate in the health sector. Egypt always having training for our health practitioners to come here to be able to train, even though more need to be done, looking at Egypt from where Egypt stands. So in those sectors, it's kind of slow, but things are moving gradually.
And what about the Ministry of Internal Affairs? I think there was some kind of training for the policemen in Liberia.
Yes. We have some of our security personnel in Egypt for short-term training. Some of them, I think some of them are closing today. It's frequent. It's rapid, which is good. And when they go back, the impact is different. They go back with new knowledge, new experience, and try to add more value to their workplace. So that is very good.
Sports, especially football, and so is one of the most popular sports yes, here in all Africa. So is there any kind of cooperations in this field between Egypt and Liberia?
Because just quite recently we had our under 17 players from Liberia that came for some friendly training match to Cairo, which was very good. You know, the Egyptian government was the one that sponsored their trip. So in terms of sport, Egypt is still pushing forward to make sure Liberia, you know, is incorporated in whatever they are doing.
Of course, we talked in the first episode about the most popular touristic destination in Liberia, but this takes me to another question here now. Is there any cooperation in the field of tourism between Egypt and Liberia?
I would say not that I know of, but things are like we are working on that, looking at Egypt when it comes to tourism. We will really, you know, appreciate them going to Liberia to be able to invest in our tourism area, to be able to explore, as we are all under one African umbrella. So that would be a very good thing. But for now, they don't have any collaboration, because I spoke to the director of tourism, and she was surprised to know that Liberia has a whole lot, but yet untapped investment in our tourism sector.
Something about your experience more here in Egypt. First of all, I would like to know where is the most distinguished places that you visit until now in Egypt and you like it?
Unfortunately, I haven't gone to many places in Cairo. I've been to, out of Egypt, I've only been to one place, which is Luxor, which is a very nice city, though. I've been to the famous pyramids. I've been to some historic places around Cairo, which we read in the book, we watch on the movies, but seeing it firsthand, it gave you a different value towards what you are seeing. So going around Egypt reminds me so much of the culture. It reminds me of tradition. It reminds me of African unity, because the people in Egypt are friendly. They are warm, with a lot of smile. People don't know you, but you know, they pass by you, you know, and give you that kind of tweak smile, which is very encouraging, make you feel comfortable to be around, you know, the people. So that's a good thing. My stay here so far has been pleasant. I haven't had any kind of bad experience, something that would make me to say, I don't want to stay in Egypt, or I don't want to be in Egypt. It's like every day I love what I see, so it makes me want to be here, you know, until my assignment is over.
You mentioned something very nice, which is somehow it's the common things in between all the African people. So what can we say about there is in common between Liberian citizens and the Egyptian? From your sitting here.
Okay, for Liberia, we are loud. Like, we talk. And I notice Egyptians are the same. So, it's like, how would I say, when it comes to culture, you go down to the locals. They behave the same. There is nothing really different. If you meet a woman, you share the same story. She has the same problem you have with other women in Liberia. So it's not different. Maybe the only difference is environment. The only difference is the location, you know, but in terms of individual, in terms of dealing with someone, like if I deal with you and you deal with me, I will notice that we have one thing in common, which is our womanhood. We have the same kind of problem, the same kind of feeling. So coming to Egypt, before coming to Egypt was like, I thought I was coming to another planet. But coming to Egypt is Africa. Everything, they behave the same. There's something about African people that have one unique sense of behavior. So that make it more easy to live here and to be comfortable and to feel free around, you know, the locals, around the people in the community, around the high, the low.
Have you been to the Great Museum or not yet?
I've been to the Great Museum.
Can you tell us about your experience over there?
I was overwhelmed because it's huge, and the anti-craft that are there are so real. You know, it's not something that is meant like. It's not something that was just made. Like when we went to where you have the mummies, they was even saying that these are real mummies, not, you know, something that they made. So it just showed the rich culture of Egypt. It just showed that there is something unique about Africa that we have. Because if those things at the museum can be kept all those years, so which means even in my country there are things that we still have, but unless we tap our tourism resources, then we'll be able to showcase what we have. So it still says that Africa has a whole lot to offer to the world. That's what.
If I ask your Excellency about also your opinion and experience with Egyptian handicrafts. For sure you have been seeing this all over the country here. So which one do you think is unique and we can spread it more worldwide, in your opinion?
The handcraft? You know, Egypt is diverse in what they do in terms of handcrafts, because it's like they do everything from shoes to bag to jewelries to everything. So which makes it very unique. You know, before I came to Egypt, I had some jewelries that were made in Egypt. You know, people go to take from Egypt to sell to Liberia, and you won't believe, like there's this jewelry that the stone just came out of it just a few days ago. I remember that I had this jewelry more than, if I'm not missing, maybe 15 or maybe 18 years ago. An Egyptian lady that went to do some business in Liberia went to our office and she gave it to me as a gift, and I just kept it. Like, you know, when you have a gift from someone, you will lose everything, especially with all the different things been happening in Liberia. The world will be moving from one place to another, but I kept this. So to tell you how unique and how much time, because when someone put time in fixing something, it lasts longer. You know, the material they use is a unique material. That's why it lasts that long, because I'm talking about more than 18 years. It's still the same. If I wear it today, you would think I just buy it down the street. I don't clean it. I don't do anything with it. So to just tell you, this is some of the unique, you know, things that you can find in Egypt.
Does the forest makes you think about investing with Egypt in the field of wood or something like this, or no?
Yes, it does. From, you know, what
did you have any memos or anything to start something like this, or it's a plan for the future you're gonna do?
It's something I can start now, because for Liberia right now we are open for investment. Because Liberia, if you speak to people who say Liberia is a virgin, we don't have much there. Like, so we're looking for investors to go to Liberia, to be able to do business, to be able to help build our economy. The thing about investment is two-way, as far as I'm concerned. Because if you invest in my country, you are getting something back. It's not that you're going to do free investment. You put the money in my country, you will get your profit, you will get your gains, and I will benefit from your investment through whatever means, whether that infrastructure, energy, renewable, whatever it is. So it's a two-way thing. So that's what we are looking forward to, that Egypt can move to Liberia, go to Liberia, open up and do a lot of business, because there are a lot of business you can do in Liberia, because especially for the location of Liberia, because where Liberia is located, we are in the middle of Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone. So whatever business you do in Liberia, which means you are doing it for those countries around, because it's easy, just the border is, well, maybe border is short, it's just doing like this and you are in the next place. So it would be very, very good for Egyptian investors to look in that direction of West Africa if they don't know that. Like I've said, I have met Egyptians that don't know Liberia, which is strange because I work with other African ambassadors, and when you meet them, they'll be like, I'm from this country, and the person, oh yeah, hi, how are you? Fine. Where are you from? Liberia. Liberia. You have to start explaining what Liberia is. So that's kind of take me off guard, which means Egyptians need to know that there's a country called Liberia.
Most of the Egyptians now will know about Liberia, and they will start search for Liberia.
Yes.
And the beautiful nature of Liberia and the natural resources and investment, inshallah, the future investment in Liberia,
Yes,
between Egypt
yes.
and Liberia. Your Excellency, thank you so much for all the information that you shared with us and for your precious time, and hope always the best in the relations between Egypt and Liberia. Through your thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on in a short note.
وبكده مشاهدينا بكل مكان انتهى لقائنا المميز اللي كان مع سعادة القائم بأعمال سفارة ليبيريا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية، سعادة السفيرة ماريان اف كوبي. واتمنى ان يكون اللقاء ده كمان خلى او هيشجع كل المصريين ان هم يبداوا يبحثوا عن ليبيريا كدوله، ويشوفوا جمال الطبيعه في ليبيريا، ويشوفوا كمان حجم الاستثمارات المستقبليه اللي احنا بنتمنى انها تكون ما بين مصر وليبيريا في المستقبل. شكرا لكم لحسن متابعتكم، واشوفكم على خير في حلقه قادمه، والى اللقاء.